Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
In the most holy name of Allah, who came to us, the black man and the black woman here in the hills of North America, in the divine person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, and the one God, to whom all holy praise is due forever, the Lord of all the worlds. We forever thank him for his coming and for his raising up in our midst a divine leader, a divine teacher, and a divine guide in the personage of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad the last, and the greatest messenger of Allah. And so it is in their two great names that we would like to greet you once again, my beloved black brothers and sisters in the nation of Islam's greeting words of peace in the Arabic language, which for those of you who don't know is the original language of the original black man. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, for those of you, and there should be at least a few, who are unfamiliar with the words Assalamu alaikum, they simply mean, when you translate them from the black man's language of Arabic into the white man's language of English, peace be unto you. And if you would go to your Bibles, those of you who are of the Christian persuasion, if you would go to your Bibles, you would see, I will give you 3 examples. You will see in the book of Genesis, the 43rd chapter and the 23rd verse. You will also see in the book of St. Luke, the 24th chapter and the 36th verse. You will see in the book of St. John, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will see in the book of St. John, the 20th chapter. You will see 2 times, once in verse 19 and again in verse 21. You will see that the greeting words of Assalamu alaikum are used in all those examples. And it should make you think, why is Assalamu alaikum in the Bible if the prophets of God and the scriptures they brought represent the religion of Christianity or the religion of Judaism?
Yes, sir. Good question.
The truth of the matter is, all of the prophets, Jesus, Moses, David, Solomon, Muhammad, all of the prophets of God and all of the scriptures that they brought were of the one true religion of God, and that is the religion of Islam.
Go ahead.
Now today, I won't spend as much time as I usually spend explaining Assalamu alaikum. If you don't agree with what I have said so far, that's another subject for another Sunday.
Go ahead.
But the words, peace be unto you, are used in all of the scriptural references that I gave you. But they have been translated into the white man's language of English. So instead of saying Assalamu alaikum in Arabic, instead of saying Assalamu alaikum in Hebrew, instead of saying Assalamu alaikum in Aramaic, it is simply said, peace be unto you in English. Is everybody still all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, today, which thus far has turned out to be a much more interesting day than I would have it to have turned out to be. Today, my subject is entitled An Open Letter to President-elect Donald Trump.
Go ahead.
And if it be the will of Almighty God, Allah, who came to the black man in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, if it be the will of Allah, we will, in this subject matter, deal with some very, very important issues that come at a very, very important time.
That's right.
This subject, an open letter to President-elect Donald Trump, is related to Mr. Trump's first presidency. It's about his second term as president of these United States of America, but it's related to his first term. At the suggestion of Minister Kevin Ali, the minister of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who trained me in the ministry class of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a letter was written to President, at that time, sitting President Donald J. Trump. And because Minister Kevin Ali went to school with someone that is close to President Donald J. Trump. Did everybody hear what I just said?
Sir, yes, sir.
Minister Kevin Ali went to school with someone who is a very important person in the Republican Party and knows President Donald Trump. And so in addition to attempting to submit this letter that was written by myself, I don't remember whether I had any help or not. So if I'm not mentioning any help, forgive me. But this letter was written and we attempted to submit it ourselves. However, Minister Kevin Ali gave the letter to this individual. I think he was the head of the Republican Party for the state of New Jersey. If I'm wrong, sue me. I don't remember his name. If Minister Kevin is watching right now, give me the name. Somebody look in the chat and we'll mention the name. But this individual was given this letter to be given to President Trump, who was the sitting president at that time. And the response that this individual gave to Minister Kevin Ali, and he mentioned it when he was here teaching. He read the letter. Did anybody hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
The reason I'm laughing and asking, did anybody hear what I just said, is because I'm standing in a totally and completely empty room with 12 chairs seated or placed in front of me and nobody's in them. You all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So for those individuals of a particular bent of mind, you might take this lightly. Like, who does he think he is? Why would President Trump read a letter from him? Why would he even write a letter for the president? Well, let me explain it to you. First of all, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we should keep him and Allah, the Savior, Master Farad Muhammad. We are taught to always keep Allah and his messenger out front. Are you listening to me? Therefore, I do not represent myself. Don't worry about my chairs. Don't worry about my anything. my standing, even if it were infinitely greater than it presently is. It would not matter. Listen. There is a prayer that we pray, those of us who even know the prayer. And part is called the confidence prayer. And part of that prayer says, no, greatness does not benefit. Did anybody hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Greatness. I don't consider myself a man to have achieved greatness. And I'm explaining to those of a particular bent of mind that you can't respect anything but greatness. Greatness does not benefit any possessor of greatness as against thee, meaning as against God. We say in Islam, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest.
Go ahead.
And therefore, no one who is a possessor of greatness benefits from that greatness as against Allah, who is the greatest.
Go ahead.
Therefore, you are to keep Allah and the messenger out front, because no matter how great you are, if you are, it means nothing if you are not Allah or the messenger of Allah, because your greatness will not benefit you as against Allah. Does anything that I said make sense? All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I am a student of, a minister of, and a representative of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, not myself. Therefore, those who are of a particular bent of mind that you need to see more people seated cheering and clapping, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the man I'm here to represent. He already achieved that. What do you want me to achieve that for?
Come on.
If I had achieved that, it would mean nothing to the message that I represent. Too spiritual for you? Too philosophical? Let's move on. My subject is an open letter to President-elect Donald Trump. This individual, look in the chat and see if Brother Minister put the name of the gentleman that he submitted the letter to, and asked to pass it personally. This is someone who could personally hand the letter to President Trump. Minister Kevin went to school with him. So my chairs may be empty, but we know somebody who can personally walk up to President Trump and hand him something that we wrote for him. So damn the chairs, damn the bent of mind where you need somebody to have a big audience to mean something to you. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm looking down at my coffee and thinking of what I just said and how I said it. I'm like, well, do I need any caffeine? I'm scared to sip on it now. But I will anyway. The individual that he gave the letter to responded to him by saying, after he read it, someone high enough in the Republican Party who knows Donald Trump well enough to walk up to him and hand him a letter that we wrote, went to school with Minister Kevin. He read the letter. And after he read the letter, he told Minister Kevin he can't give it to President Trump because it goes against everything he believes in.
That's right.
Talk back to me. Well, what were the contents of this letter? You were listening basically to the contents of the letter before I came to the microphone. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was personally explaining the various points of the Muslim program. I'm not saying that all we did was write the Muslim program and include that in a letter. No. But the contents of the letter that both Minister Kevin and myself believe were the particular contents that he, the individual that he gave the letter to, found to be against everything that he believed, were the contents that dealt with separation, independence, and nationhood for the black former slaves of America. That was the theme of the entire letter. We were asking President Trump to consider, but not just consider, but implement a program of separating the blacks of this nation from the whites of this nation on some of this good earth that we can call our own. Is everybody still all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we're not in March yet, but I'm going to make like it's Ramadan and drink some hot coffee. Why do I say I'm going to make like it's Ramadan and drink? When if it were Ramadan and I were observing the fast of Ramadan, I wouldn't drink. The reason is directly related to the open letter to President-elect Donald Trump. See, we're no longer living in the time, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, to observe the fast of Ramadan. We have reached the end of the sign that Ramadan represents, and we, the black nation in America, are a sign that we have reached the end of signs, such as fasting during Ramadan and pilgrimage to the holy city Mecca. Because of the critical time that we are living in, we are reaching out to President Trump in the only way that perhaps by some miracle he might get the message. Are you listening to me? Today is the 19th day of January 2025. We are only weeks away from the 50th anniversary of the departure of the last messenger of Allah, not Prophet Muhammad. He is not the last messenger of Allah.
Go ahead.
He is the seal of the prophets of Allah, but he is not the last messenger of Allah.
Go ahead.
Even he himself said that every 100 years there would arise from the, I don't want to say ummah, I don't like the term community, because Islam is a nation. It's not a community.
That's it. It's a nation.
It's a nation. That's why we are asked, what is the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over the planet Earth? The population of the original nation refers to the nation of Islam. The nation of Islam is the black population of the earth. Are you listening to me? And this is why we are also asked the question, what is the birth record of the said Nation of Islam? Because the said Nation of Islam refers to this movement in America. And we know that when birth record is discussed with respect to Nation of Islam, instead of thinking of the birth record of the said Nation of Islam as the birth record of the black peoples of the earth, we're going to consider the birth record of the said Nation of Islam, or of the Nation of Islam, to be when a man by the name of Wallace Farad Muhammad established a movement in America. No. What the Savior Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, established is not, quote unquote, the birth record of the said Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam has no birth record.
Go ahead.
It has no beginning.
Go ahead.
It did not begin in 1930 in Detroit, Michigan. It did not begin in Mecca, Arabia, 1400 years ago.
That's right.
It has no birth record. It has always been, and it will always be. Are you listening to me? Get to the open letter. You know, without context, nothing means anything.
Come on.
So we wrote this letter, and we talked about separation. This is a very, 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 very critical time. The 19th of January, 2025. We are nearly 50 years to the date of the departure of the last messenger of Allah. Prophet Muhammad said every 100 years, someone would rise up from, quote unquote, the Nation of Islam. He didn't use those words, but he said there would be one that would rise up among us who? The Muslims. Every 100 years, a man would rise up to whom Allah would speak. Did anybody hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
You who are Orthodox Muslims, who are responsible very, very largely for the facilitation of a genocide to be perpetrated against Muslims in Palestine, it is your confusion. It is your going astray from the message of Prophet Muhammad.
Go ahead.
It is your abandonment of the principles of Islam that were given to you by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that made it possible for the white man of Europe to perpetrate a Nakba against the Palestinians 77 years ago.
That's right.
And for the Palestinian people to have suffered the way they have suffered over the past 77 years, culminating in a genocide that has taken place before our eyes since October the 8th, 2023. Is everybody still all right?
Yes, sir.
You who are Orthodox Muslims, who want to attack the doctrine and practice of the Nation of Islam, you want to attack the idea that Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. You say Muhammad of Arabia, peace be upon him, was the last messenger. You a damn fool. Muhammad said every 100 years there was going to be a man to come up in Islam. You in Arabic call him the Mujaddid. Talk black to me.
ahead.
He said, a man to whom Allah would speak, but he will not be a prophet. But he will not be a prophet. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I'm not a prophet. I never said I was a prophet. You don't need no prophet.
Go ahead.
We at the end of prophets. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
And so every 100 years since Prophet Muhammad's work, there was to be one who would be raised, or who would rise, to whom Allah would speak. Why would Allah speak to this one every 100 years? What would this man to whom Allah would speak do with what Allah spoke to him every 100 years? It's ridiculous for me to even try to break this down because it's so obvious that when you try to explain it, it's hard to explain. If Allah speaks to someone, he speaks to that someone for the purpose of that someone to share that which is spoken to him. And so it makes that person a messenger. Are you listening to me? So when the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in defense of his position, Muhammad was not the last messenger. Muhammad said a messenger would appear every 100 years. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad is 100% right and exact. Now let's make like it's Ramadan again for a couple of seconds.
Go ahead.
Pardon me, I'm clowning. Listen. Tomorrow, Monday, will be January 20th, 2025. And President-elect Donald J. Trump will be inaugurated, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Or in this case, and the creek don't freeze. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. He'll be inaugurated to the presidency of the United States of America for the second time. What is so significant about this event on this date? Tomorrow also, meaning his inauguration, also coincides with something else. Well, what is the something else? It also coincides with the national legal holiday honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, I don't know how many of us consider that to be an accident. I don't know how many of us recognize, I'm going to call it an oxymoron.
That's right.
I don't know how many of us recognize the utter irony.
Ain't no coincidence.
Go ahead. I don't know how many of us recognize, how many of us feel as black people in our hearts, the utter irony of a man like President-elect Donald Trump being inaugurated to the presidency of the United States of America. A man who does not stand for that which the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King represents, but stands totally against what the life and legacy of Martin Luther King or the Reverend Martin Luther King represent. To be inaugurated the day set aside by the federal government to quote unquote honor the life and legacy of Dr. King is a slap in the face of all black people in America.
That's right.
And I don't believe that slap is just a coincidence.
Come on.
I do not believe that slap in our faces is unintentional. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I don't know if perhaps constitutionally, which Monday in January is this? Is it the third Monday? Yeah, it would have to be. Because if there were a Monday before it, it would be the 22nd.
Yes, sir. Third Monday.
So it's the third Monday in January. I don't know if perhaps constitutionally the new president has to be inaugurated on the third Monday in January. I don't know. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
But even if that is the case, it's still not a coincidence. It simply means that the coincidence was orchestrated by a power even higher than the white man. Talk black to me. There's a message in President Trump being inaugurated tomorrow. And the message is to us as black people. And the message is not a good one. I want you to understand, those of you who are viewing, President Trump is seen by his supporters as the answer to black people to Barack Hussein Obama and his presidency of the United States of America. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
President-elect Trump sees himself, and rightfully so, as the anti-Obama. He hates that President Obama was the president of the United States of America. He hates it with a passion. And he seeks to undo. He seeks to besmirch. He seeks to counter anything and everything that President Barack Obama represented. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The supporters of President Trump hate the fact that a black man was the president of the United States of America, and they see President Trump as the white power president of the United States of America. Come on now. None of this is intended to elicit any type of emotion. It just is what it is. And so for President Trump to be inaugurated on the Dr. Martin Luther King holiday, it's a slap in the face of black America. And for white America to slap black America, to seek to slap black America in the face in this manner, after all that we have suffered at the hands of America, suffering that was endured despite all of the contributions that we have made to America.
That's right.
Is to make those of you who would take your right hand and put it over your heart and pledge allegiance to the flag of America. You are a disgusting traitor to your people. Are you listening to me? Talk black to me. I cannot pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, nor to the republic for which it stands.
Okay.
I can't do it. I would be a fool if I did do it. It is an insult for you as a white man to ask me as a black man to do it. America is not one nation under God and indivisible. The hell America is. You had a Kerner Commission. We're talking about the president being inaugurated tomorrow, coinciding with Dr. King's holiday. A Kerner Commission was established, named after a senator. And it was established in 1968. Now, I'm developing these wrinkles in my face. I don't know if you can see them, but I cut my gray hair and I shave my gray face. So I don't know if I look my age or not. But I was 6 years old in 1968. And this Kerner Commission, it was established to study the riots that took place. Well, come on now, get to the open letter. I am in the open letter. Didn't we just have the same thing go on just 5 years ago while Donald J. Trump was the president of the United States? Wasn't it in May of 2020, I believe, when a white police officer, emboldened with the racism that made him confident that he could place his knee on the neck of a black man and keep it there for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Why? Because he had the confidence that he could get away with that because of the presidency of Donald Trump. Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd. And when he murdered George Floyd, did he put the name in?
Mr. Andrew Mulvihill.
What's the name one more time?
Mr. Andrew Mulvihill.
Did he put anything else in there?
Real estate magnate, Vernon Valley, Great Gorge, New Jersey.
Mr. Say it again.
Andrew Mulvihill.
Mr. Andrew Mulvihill.
Yes, sir.
Who is a real estate magnate. And what else?
Vernon Valley, Great Gorge, New Jersey.
Vernon Valley, Great Gorge, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Minister Kevin went to school with him.
Yes, sir.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we gave the letter to him to give to President Trump. And he said he couldn't do it because it goes against everything that he believes in. Now, getting back to the riots that erupted in 1968. These riots erupted as a result of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a white man murdering a black man in broad daylight. Talk back to me. Okay, now you fast forward again to 2020, and another white man murders a black man in broad daylight. And what happened all over America in 2020? The same thing that happened in 1968. Black folk rose up, and you had a problem, white America. There was a bootleg movement called Black Lives Matter. And it swept the country. In fact, it swept the world. People were protesting all over the world the murder of George Floyd. Talk black to me. But it was white America's response to the presidency of Barack Obama in the person of Donald Trump that made the murder of George Floyd possible. so the Kerner Commission in 1968, talking about the Pledge of Allegiance and why I can't pledge, said that the number one problem of America is race. The race problem, meaning the black-white problem. Not the Cold War between America and the Soviet Union. Talk black to me. Not any of the other problems that plagued America at the time, but that America's number one problem was her race problem between the whites of America and the blacks of America. This commission determined that America was moving towards. Now, I don't understand why the language moving towards was used. That's just insane. But this is how white people talk. The white man, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, is not made, meaning by nature, to give you straight truth. So he always finds some language to whitewash, to well dress or dress well the naked truth. So the language that was used, if I remember correctly, was that America is moving towards two nations. One black, one white, separate and unequal. Are you listening to me? And this commission came up with recommendations. Recommendations of what it determined would bring about a measure of justice for the black man that would solve the problem of race in America. Of course, these recommendations were not implemented. The recommendations were a non-starter. The recommendations were weak, watered-down versions of what the real solution should be. The Kerner Commission recommended a jobs program of sorts. The Kerner Commission made other recommendations. It made the recommendations that the Bible speaks of, wherein it mentions one called Lazarus, who had a particular relationship with a rich man. Lazarus laid at the gate of a rich man, begging for the crumbs that fell from the table of the rich man. And Lazarus suffered all manner of violations of his human dignity while begging for the crumbs that fell from the table of the rich man. Lazarus was full of sores as the result of his suffering at the hands of the rich man. And the rich man's dogs came and licked the sores of Lazarus. Are you listening to me? Why is this significant? Well, when there was a Black Lives Matter demonstration in Washington, D.C., didn't President Trump come out and stand with a Bible in his hands? Come on, Mr. President-elect. Let's talk about that Bible that you were holding. See, that parable, that narrative of Lazarus and the rich man is a prophetic narrative, meaning it's a narrative, but it's a prophecy of the relationship that the black man and the white man would have in America. And so Jesus said, alas, the rich man did what? died. Lazarus would not get up from the rich man's gate no matter how bad he was treated, no matter how much indignity he suffered. He wouldn't get up from the rich man's gate and go for himself. But alas, the rich man died. And Lazarus was seen being taken to heaven, into the bosom of Abraham. What does the Holy Quran say about Abraham?
Go ahead.
And if you're the president of the United States of America, a nation whose symbols and much of whose substance comes from the fraternal order of free and accepted Masons, meaning what? Meaning men, white men who are Christians but study the Holy Quran and Islam. Are you listening to me? America is made up of three branches with respect to her government. You have the executive branch, you have the legislative branch, and you have the judicial branch. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
America's system of laws is greatly influenced. You ain't listening to me. It is greatly influenced by this book, Quran, and the God of this book, Allah, through the prophet of this book, Muhammad of Arabia, peace be upon him. That's a fact. You go to Washington, D.C., and you go and visit certain sites there in Washington, and you can see the Masonic influence. Talk black to me. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Many of the judges that are seated on the benches of America are Masons. Many of the lawyers that argue cases in the courts of America are Masons. Talk black to me. The secret society of Freemasonry is so intricately woven into America's system of law, government. It's ridiculous. All right, let's keep going. So we're going to make like it's Ramadan again.
Yes, sir. Take time, sir.
So there was a bootleg movement, Black Lives Matter, that proved that from Emmett Till, from Martin Luther King, all the way to George Floyd, nothing really changed in America. Not really. There was a whitewashing. There was a certain face put on America, but things never really changed. Recommendations were made by the Kerner Commission that were not a true solution to the problem, and therefore the problem just continued to exist. Okay, now we're about to enter into the second presidency of Donald Trump. And white America once again feels emboldened by his election. And so you are going to see, most likely, more Karens both male and female, you are going to most likely see once again an emboldened white man, an emboldened white woman who want to let the black man and the black woman know that if you think for 1 second that you have come up, quote unquote, in the game in America, we, the white man, the white woman, are going to put you niggers in your place. Talk black to me. It is a crying shame that after all we have suffered in this country, white people still have the attitude towards us. White people still seek to misuse and abuse us, of people who have never done them any harm.
Go ahead.
Like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in the lectures that we were listening to, if you want America to be a white country, what the hell did you bring us over here for? And if you can justify by your evil mind why you brought us over here, if you now want America to be a white man's country, why won't you resettle us away from here? If you are not going to make us your equals in America, why, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad asked, why do you want to keep us in America? What could possibly be a righteous, a good, positive reason for you to want blacks to remain in America, when you know damn well you don't want the black man to be equal with the white man in America? Then why keep us here? What reason is there for us other than our pathetic self-hatred to even want to remain here? You know the white man does not want to make you his equal. Yet you desire to remain among these people. You're pathetic. You have no pride. You have no self-respect. You have no dignity.
Right.
If this white man doesn't want to make us his equal in America, then we should demand to be separated from America. When the white man in 1776 got sick and tired of being sick and tired, he declared his independence from the monarchy in England. Yet here you are. You say you sick and tired of being sick and tired, but you won't declare your independence from the people who have done to you what the King of England could never think of doing to his colonists in America. Talk black to me. Yeah, this is an open letter to President-elect Donald J. Trump. This is a critical time. With 50 years almost to the date of the departure of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. If, and we believe he is, if he is in fact the last messenger of God, the culmination of 50 years of his absence, that's not coincidence, that's not insignificant. Well, what else? What else is significant about this time? We have also reached the end of the term of a great nation.
Go ahead.
You're not listening. We have reached the end of the term of a great nation. What great nation? The United States of America. What do you mean we've reached the end of its term? A study of history reveals that empires last about 250 years. Talk back to me. Even the white man himself admits that empires last about 250 years. Now, I knew this many years ago, decades ago, when I was still living in New Jersey. I've been in Georgia for 27 years, soon to be 28 years. But when I was living in New Jersey, I read a number of books written by, what's my man's name? John Bagot Glove. I think the Arabs referred to him as Glove Pasha, Glove Bacha. He wrote a book called A Short History of the Arabs. And he wrote other books. And I read, I believe, more than one of his books. And he explained in the book that empires last about 250 years. Okay, America is 2 years away from her 250th year. 1776 plus 50 is 1826, right? Am I right or wrong? 200 years after 1826 is 2000 or 2026.
Yes, sir, that's right.
So we are at the end of the term of a great nation.
Go ahead.
And the presidency of Donald Trump and together with his supporters, takes the theme of Make America what? Great again. Well, if America was once great, but now needs again to be made great, why would you look at the thumbnail that I chose for this video, a book written by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad called The Fall of America?
Go ahead.
If America was once great, but now needs again to be made great, you are admitting that America has fallen from a greatness she once possessed, but does not possess any longer. That's a fall of America. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
And so you want to make America great again. MAGA. I would ask the president-elect, how great was America for the black man when America was great to the white man?
Go ahead. Good question.
It's a question that is akin to the question that Frederick Douglass asked the white men who invited him to give an address in celebration of the 4th of July. And so the very, very famous speech Frederick Douglass gave, "What to the slaves is the 4th of July?"
Come on.
I ask in that same spirit, what was the greatness of America to the black man when America was great for the white man? Talk back to me. And if you want to make America great again for the white man with the presence of over 40 million members of the nation of the black man in America, what will America's return to greatness mean for the black man when she's great again for the white man?
Come on.
Should we, as the black man, wait and see? Should we, as the black man, should we be looking for a bright future in an America made great again for the white man? Should we be looking for a bright future for the black man? Now I'm saying to the president, we have just, and according to what so many people are saying, we have just witnessed a ceasefire reached between the Palestinians and Israel.
Yes, sir.
Something the whole world is focused on. And it's being said that if things go the way they could go,
Yes, sir.
that President-elect Trump will be eligible to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. President-elect Trump is set to be given a number of, at least 2, but if I remember correctly, 3.
Yes, sir.
I can't think of the 3rd right now. But if President Trump can be responsible for a deal in the Middle East to stop the genocide in the Middle East, stop the war between Israel and the Palestinians in Gaza, if he can bring an end to the war between Ukraine, which is really a proxy war, it's a war of America against Russia using Ukraine as its proxy. Talk back to me.
That's right.
If he can bring an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine, that's another Nobel Peace Prize. Are you listening to me? I now believe I remember where the 3rd possibility of a Nobel Peace Prize comes from.
Yes, sir.
Donald Trump, president-elect, because he's the anti-Obama, pulled out of the nuclear deal between America and Iran. He said he didn't like it. He wanted a better deal. Talk back to me. If Donald Trump, president-elect, can bring about a new deal between America and Iran over its nuclear program, that's another Nobel Peace Prize. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir. Right.
Now, what I want you to understand is that President-elect Trump is a particular type of man. He is the type of man who understands that he stands to win 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. And this now as a president, a sitting president of the United States of America. How many presidents can say anything close to that? President Trump understands that if he can accomplish this, that he'll go down in history as the greatest president of the United States of America. You think President Trump is not interested in such possibility?
Okay, that's right.
You a damn fool.
See,
I'm telling you that the possibility of being awarded 3 Nobel Peace Prizes, just one, in fact, but three, and being recognized as perhaps the greatest president. I mean, a distinction that no other president could claim. This is something that would motivate the hell out of President-elect Trump. He's that type of man. I don't say that disrespectfully. Every president of the United States of America should attempt to be the greatest president of the United States of America. Everybody still all right?
Yes, sir.
So again, in the war in Gaza, in the war in Ukraine, establish a new and better deal with respect to Iran's nuclear program that is more beneficial to the United States and Israel than any other deal that has been cut. That's 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. Are y'all listening to me?
Sir, yes, sir.
That's the time that we're living in. Okay. I'm saying to President-elect Trump, there's another Nobel Peace Prize
Go ahead.
that makes those 3 combined look like nothing.
Go ahead. See.
It's the possibility to win a prize, a Nobel Peace Prize, that would not even be given justice by the name Nobel Peace Prize. It's a prize so great,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
no other president in history could repeat it. Are you listening to me?
Go ahead. See.
It would make every Nobel Peace Prize that has been won up to now look like nothing in comparison. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, what is that possibility of that 4th Nobel Peace Prize? The prize of all, the mother of prizes.
Come on.
The final solution to the race problem in America
Come on.
that has plagued America for centuries. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
To bring about a just solution, to bring about a final solution, to finally solve the problem of the black-white conflict of America. You don't have to like black people to win that prize. You don't have to believe in the humanity of black people to win that prize. You don't have to believe that black people are equal to white people to win that prize. You don't believe Palestinians are equal to Israelis. But you are this close, Mr. President, to winning a Nobel Peace Prize for solving a problem no other president has been able to solve. Talk black to me. I don't give a damn what you think about black people. I'm not asking you to love us. I'm not asking you to give the first damn about us. I'm asking you to recognize, Mr. President, I'm asking you to recognize an opportunity to achieve something no president has ever achieved the like of in the history of the United States of America. Take me serious. Damn these chairs in this room. I represent Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And you are soon to become a sitting president of the United States of America. A seat that was once sat in by President Richard Milhous Nixon. estimation, was the last man worthy to sit in the seat of the presidency of the United States of America. Every president since him, including yourself, has been a president. I'm trying to find the words. Has been a president that you would look at and say, what the hell are you doing? The POTUS. What the hell are you doing, the president of the United States of America? Who did we have after Nixon? You had his vice president, Gerald Ford. Nothing burger. Pardon me for being white. He was a nothing burger. Talk black to me. Who did you have after Ford? Wasn't it Carter? A nothing burger. A peanut farmer. The president of the United States of America. Are you flipping kidding me? You only had Gerald Ford because President Nixon had to resign due to the Watergate scandal. President Nixon was the last great president of the United States of America. You have not had greatness in the White House since Nixon. I'm telling you straight up, you have not had greatness in the White House since Richard Milhouse Nixon. Ford was a nothing burger. Carter was a nothing burger. Reagan was a grade B actor. How in the hell he became the governor of California? Talk back to me. After Reagan, who did you have? You had Reagan's vice president, George Herbert Walker Bush, a nothing burger. Straight nothing burger. After him, you get his son. No, or did you get Clinton?
Oh, yes, sir. I think it was.
I think you got Clinton after Bush. I'm not sure. Right? Yeah, you got Clinton after Bush. A white boy, pardon me for being disrespectful, a white man from Arkansas playing music with niggers, pardon me again for being disrespectful, juke jointing with the Negro. Such a disgrace as a white man that he was regarded as the first black president. William Jefferson Clinton III or whatever, in no way, form, or fashion represented greatness in the presidency of the United States of America. A man who disgraced the White House. Sitting up in the White House with Monica Lewinsky under the damn table in the Oval Office. And we'll just leave the rest alone. Pointing his damn lying finger. I did not have sex with that woman. But she had a dress. This devil in the blue dress kept that dress. And let's just say that dress spoke for itself. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. After Clinton, you get the son of George Herbert Walker Bush. George W. Bush. Who in no way, form, or fashion represented greatness in the presidency of the United States. Many regard him as being an idiot, a moron. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
just for today, I'm going to apologize for any, disrespect, because I really want the message that I'm delivering to be considered and not my ignorant, niggerish, belligerent way of delivering the message. Listen now. After George W. Bush, who did we have? You tried to get Al Gore in, but there was some dangling chads. That didn't work. You got Bush again.
Right.
And then after Bush, you get Barack Insane Osama. You call him Barack Hussein Obama. You get 8 years of Obama. President Obama in no way, form, or fashion represented greatness in the office of the presidency of the United States of America. Then after Obama, we got you, Mr. President-elect. We spent 4 years of America being the laughing stock of the nations of this earth. We spent 4 years, Mr. President, of you embarrassing the living hell out of quote-unquote us. 4 years of you alienating America's allies. 4 years of you creating for America and its people what many consider to be a litany of problems, representing a litany of embarrassments. Talk black to me. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever, but in no way, form, or fashion was your first term as the President of the United States of America an example of greatness in the presidency of the United States of America. You went to North Carolina in Charlottesville, and there were white power racists in Charlottesville who committed the crime of murder in the name of race. And instead of you doing what any sitting president would have done, your white racism would not allow you to play the game of politics. Nobody's asking you to mean what you say.
Go ahead.
But as the President of the United States, you got to damn lie. That's a requirement of your job, Mr. President. You gotta act like you don't tolerate racism,
Right.
white power, white supremacy. You gotta act like you deplore, you despise, you loathe what those racists in Charlottesville represented. You gotta pretend every white president of America is about what they're about. The most liberal white president of America believes as those people in Charlottesville believe.
Go ahead.
But they believe that the methodology of achieving the same goal must be different. It must have more finesse. Talk black to me.
Go ahead.
It can't be an in-your-face type thing.
Go ahead.
But you, as a sitting president of the United States of America, you said there were good people on both sides.
Both sides.
As a minister and representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I say there were no good people on both sides. Because the white race is a race of people in which there is no good whatsoever.
Go ahead.
There is absolutely no good at all in not one white man, not one white woman, anywhere on the face of the planet Earth.
Go ahead.
You're not made good by nature. Talk black to me.
Come on. See.
At the level of your mitochondrial DNA, you are absolutely no good.
Come on.
You can behave good. You can live a life of good. But it's not your nature. And because it's not your nature, there are so few of you that can live a life of good. You're like one grain of sand each. Those of you who are some good in the life that you live, you are like individual grains of sand in the Sahara Desert. You're nothing that could even be spoken of. We know that there are exceptions to every general rule. When it comes to the nature in which you are made as a white man or woman, there are no exceptions. You are all evil, wicked, and devils. Every single one of you.
Come on.
But there are a few of you who can be likened to grains of sand in the desert, who live good, practice good, talk black to me.
Right.
And the best of you, who are so few that you're not even worth mentioning, really. The best of you are those of you who are Muslims.
Come on.
Although there are some of you who live good who are Jews, who are Christians, who are nothing, just crackers. Oops, did I say that? Did I say that?
Come on. Good point. See.
Though you are infinitely few, there are white men and white women of principle. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you deserve credit for being men and women of principle when by nature you are so evil and wicked. It's nothing for a black man to do right because our nature is right. But for a white man or woman to do right in spite of the fact that your very nature ain't what right, you deserve some credit.
Go ahead.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So on both sides in Charlottesville, Mr. President, there were no good people. But you said on both sides there were good people. That is a statement that is unfit to be made by a sitting president of the United States of America. And you were guilty of many such outrages during your first presidency. But you now stand to redeem yourself of those outrages, of that total and complete lack of greatness in the presidency of the United States. You now stand to win 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. And I mean, you are stupidly close. I mean, it is within your reach. You can win all 3. But there's another one nobody on this earth is even thinking about. And that's solving the problem between the black man and the white man of America. You'd be able to win a prize no other president has ever won. No other president could ever win. And that would make any Nobel Peace Prize that anyone has ever won look like nothing in comparison. Are you listening to me? Now let's go a little deeper into it, if it be the will of Allah. In Washington, D.C., there is a monument to one of the greatest presidents in American history. The man of whom I speak is President Abraham Lincoln. There's a monument. They call him Honest Abe. Mr. President, as difficult as it might seem to believe, as much as it might seem as though I'm disrespectful of you, I see you as a man cut from the same cloth of President Abraham Lincoln. Potentially. I see you cut from the same cloth, period. But I see you as a president who has the potential to outdo Lincoln. I'm talking about greatness in the White House that has not been seen since Lincoln. Are you listening to me? Now, of course, Mr. Lincoln, he paid a price. He paid the same price you almost paid recently. And for the same reason. This is why I see you, Mr. President, cut from the same cloth of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's assassination attempt, or the assassination attempt on Mr. Lincoln, was successful. The assassination attempt against you, Mr. President-elect, it was unsuccessful. But the same forces in America that succeeded in assassinating President Lincoln failed to assassinate you. Come on. Talk black to me. What were those forces? Why did they seek Mr. Lincoln's life? Right. Tell me a president since Mr. Lincoln who equaled the achievements of Mr. Lincoln. Y'all ain't listening to me. Come on. Abraham Lincoln, Mr. President, like yourself, potentially, was the savior of America. Come on. Abraham Lincoln rose to the presidency at a time of bitter partisan conflict in this country. So bitter, so partisan, that a war that was the costliest war and the bloodiest war this country ever fought. White men killing other white men. And the country seeking to divide. Y'all ain't listening to me. The southern states of this nation seceded from the Union. They actually formed an army and attacked one of the forts in South Carolina, Fort Sumter, beginning the Civil War. That war was fought about the black man. You can call it states' rights, this, that, shut up. Not you, Mr. President, but you white people who want to give it some other cause. Shut up. The Civil War was fought 100% about the black man. America divided and went to war over what to do with the black man. Talk black to me. The South seceded from the North, attacked a fort, starting the Civil War. And this bloody war was fought all the way, I think it began in 1861? Fought all the way to 1865. Talk back to me. I forget the fella Abraham Lincoln ran against. I think his last name was Douglas, but I don't remember what his first name was. A lot of issues going on at the time. A lot of talk about slavery. What to do with the black man in America. Abraham Lincoln, Mr. President, was a man that I consider to be a man like yourself. Meaning, when it came to how he viewed black people, cut from the same cloth that you cut from, Mr. President. His ways may have been somewhat different than yours as far as the intricate details. But generally speaking, Abraham Lincoln was a Donald J. Trump of the 1860s. Abraham Lincoln, listen, Abraham Lincoln used the word nigger more than Minister Eric and Dr. Khaled combined. I promise you, I'm making a little joke, but I'm serious. Abraham Lincoln used the term nigger more than Minister Eric Muhammad and Dr. Khalid Muhammad combined. Abraham Lincoln was so racist in his attitude towards black people. Abraham Lincoln's favorite form of entertainment was going to minstrel shows. Y'all ain't listening to me. Some of you are so young and so ignorant of your history, you don't even know what a minstrel show is. And I'm not going to stand here and try to explain it to you. Look it up, damn it. You got cell phones, tablets, iPads, and whatever. Look it up. Ask Siri to bring up minstrel shows. Abraham Lincoln loved minstrel shows. It was his favorite form of entertainment. I'm not saying this to dress down or hate on Abraham Lincoln. I'm simply painting a picture for you in which is a lesson for you to learn, all of you that are listening, that you need to learn. Abraham Lincoln was not against slavery.
Go ahead.
Abraham Lincoln was not against slavery. Abraham Lincoln, the man that is given credit for the abolition of slavery, the great emancipator. Who the hell did Abraham Lincoln emancipate? Why is Abraham Lincoln called the great emancipator? He didn't emancipate no white folks. He's called the great emancipator because of the Emancipation Proclamation that brought a turning point in the history of black people in America.
Yes, sir.
What else is Abraham Lincoln called the great? The great what? The only great he's ever been called is emancipator, to my knowledge. But the man who presided over a war that brought about the final abolition of chattel slavery is a man who had so little love for black people that his favorite form of entertainment was going to minstrel shows. That he used the word nigger to refer to us more than me and Khaled combined. So I need those of you, and especially you, Mr. President, to understand you can be the most racist white cracker bastard on the planet Earth, and you can still be recognized for absolute greatness and bring about a solution to the problem, or one of the problems that plague this country. It ain't got nothing to do with like and dislike. It has everything to do with policy. As the President of the United States, you ought to be judged by your policies. Is anybody following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't care how you feel about me. You can love me to death, but if your policies are not beneficial to me, I don't give a damn about your love for me. You can hate me more than you hate anything on this earth, but if your policies are beneficial to me, I don't give a damn about your hatred for me. I need your policies to work for me, not your feelings to be good about me. I need your policies to work for me. And when I say for me, I mean for the black man and the black woman in the hills of North America. You can feel however you want to feel, Mr. President. But what is going to be your policy? Are you going to follow the failed policies of former presidents? Or are you going to achieve the greatness of Abraham Lincoln and even surpass the greatness of Mr. Lincoln? Talk black to me. Abraham Lincoln, at some point during the Civil War, I believe, he called a collection of prominent black leaders to the White House. Mr. President, will you do the same? He called prominent leaders to the White House. And he's called Honest Abe because he's a man similar to yourself. You're cut from the same cloth. You are an in-your-face white power white man, for the most part. You really make me disrespect you when you say things like, I'm the least racist man, blah, blah, blah. Man, stop it. Stop it. You make yourself look like a punk when you say things like that. Pardon my language. I can't be 100% right up here, because I'm me. I'm shocked I haven't been worse. You make yourself look weak. You make yourself look disgusting when you deny being racist. Why do you have to deny being racist? Why? When people accuse you of being racist, just nix it. Ignore it. Don't tell the pathetic lie that you're not racist. You don't have to not be racist. Abraham Lincoln was racist. It's a monument for him.
Go ahead.
And there's not been a president as great as him since him. You can achieve greatness, the equal or surpass the greatness of Abraham Lincoln and be as racist as you please. You don't have to punk out to the damn political correct cadre in America. Damn them crackers. And the Negroes, niggas, and colored people that are with them. Damn them. Be a man. Make like Tony Braxton or Tony Braxton's song. Just be a man about it. You certainly don't have to worry about my feelings. I'm not interested in that. Abraham Lincoln called these leaders to the White House, and he was very frank and very honest with them. There wasn't no political correctness going on in America then. There were no woke people in America then. America was just America then. If I was a white man, I'd be like, damn, those are the good old days when America was just America. But I'm a black man, so there weren't no good old days for me. Abraham Lincoln said to the leaders that were from among the free black population. Listen now, the free black population. 500,000 free blacks. 4,500,000 slave blacks. Abraham Lincoln called the leadership from among the free blacks. And he explained to them the race problem in America. Abraham Lincoln said to the black leaders, listen, there are physical differences between your people and my people. And I'm using my words now because I don't have the book in front of me to give you exactly what he said, so I'm going to paraphrase. He said that make it impossible for us to ever get along in peace and equality. He said if you look at your condition as free blacks, the way that you are treated in America is just a half a step above the slave blacks. Abraham Lincoln went even further. He was trying to make a point, so he's painting a picture. He's like, look, I would never like to see black people, I think he said, be able to sue white people. I don't want to see black people be able to this, that, and the other thing. I'm doing a lot of paraphrasing right now. He summed up everything he said to them by saying to them, as long as your people remain among us in America, there will always be the position of the superior and the inferior. And I, as much as any white man. That means that Abraham Lincoln was saying that he, as much as the Southern white man that he was fighting against, he as much as Jefferson Davis. Talk black to me. When Abraham Lincoln said, I as much as any white man, he was saying, I as much as Jefferson Davis. I think he was the president of the Confederacy. I, as much as Jefferson Davis, would like to see the superior position assigned to my people. Talk black to me. That's how honest Abraham Lincoln was. Abraham Lincoln, in his advocacy against slavery, Abraham Lincoln said, listen, if I could save the Union without ending slavery, I would do so.
Come on.
Come on now.
That's what he said.
Then he said, if to save the Union I have to end slavery, I will do so. Abraham Lincoln, in order to stop the Civil War from ever erupting in order to even become president of the United States. Abraham Lincoln said to the Southern white man, he said, I have no desire nor intention to interfere with slavery. They were supporting Douglas because they were accusing Abraham Lincoln of being a nigger lover and seeking to bring an end to slavery. So Abraham Lincoln had to constantly listen. Stop it. I'm not going, listen, let me be the president. I'm not going to mess with slavery. Please hear what I'm saying. I don't care how you feel about it. If this don't excite you, I don't give a damn. This ain't the time to be trying to excite you. Listen to me. If the South, the southern states, had trusted Abraham Lincoln when he told them, I'm not going to bother with slavery, those states that have slavery already, I am never going to mess with it. Talk back to me. I am just saying I'm not for it spreading to any new states. Is anybody listening? Abraham Lincoln was saying, look, any further land acquisitions, slavery is not going to be part of that. This was frightening the white man of the South, who then said, well, if you take in that position, you're against slavery. You're going to take our slaves away. No. I'm not saying I'm going to take any of your slaves away. I'm just simply saying you ain't going to get no more in any future land acquisition. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Keep what you got, but you ain't getting no more. Well, they looked at that as, they didn't trust them. They looked at that as, you're going to take the ones we got. Abraham Lincoln is constantly telling them, as he's running for president, I'm not anti-slavery. I'm not going to mess with your slaves. Keep your damn slaves, but you're not spreading it any further. They didn't trust him. Their distrust for him was so deep that they decided to secede and attack. There was a January 6th, 2021, at Fort Sumter in South Carolina, I believe. That was January 6th, just on a whole nother level.
Come on.
You listening to me? It was January 6th. The Civil War started. Hello. White folks attacking their own government.
Come on.
It's stupid devils. Hate the black man so much, you attacking your own government, you dumb cracker. Stupid. A shame and a damn disgrace. So the Civil War was fought. The Union was successful. But before it ended, in this meeting, Abraham Lincoln said, I, as much as any white man, want the white man to be superior to the black man, and as long as the white man and the black man live together in America, there's always going to be one of us superior over the other, and it's going to be white folks, if it's up to me. Therefore, what I propose to you is that you separate from America and take your people and be resettled elsewhere. Are y'all listening? Abraham Lincoln wanted to resettle the blacks of America on some separate territory. Abraham Lincoln favored to whatever degree the establishment, it had already been established, the establishment of Liberia. And he saw Liberia as a possible place to send blacks to. Are you listening? Liberia, during the presidency of Abraham Lincoln, was what Ghana is and has become to the current presidents of America. Liberia was the place to send blacks to. The country in Africa that people look to now, black people, as far as return, is Ghana. Well, Liberia was the Ghana of the 1860s. Y'all following me?
Yes, sir.
Abraham Lincoln tried to effect this resettlement to a place in Panama. It was a disaster. Talk black to me. I don't remember exactly what, if any, role Liberia played in any of his resettlement, quote unquote, schemes. Abraham Lincoln wanted you out of America, black man and woman, because the war that he fought against his brothers in the South was a war that he saw was your fault as far as your presence is concerned. That you were an issue that caused his people to divide and go to war with one another. So for the sake of the unity of the white race of America, Abraham Lincoln wanted to resettle the blacks outside of America. But the leaders that Abraham Lincoln called to the White House were not the right leaders. This is something that has plagued the leadership of white America ever since there has been an America. You are constantly calling the wrong black leadership. You keep calling for the Negroes, the niggers, and the colored boys and girls that love you, that want to remain with you, that see you as superior to themselves. Bootleg puppets, toms, tools, damn fools who have no self-respect, no dignity, no self-pride at all, no belief that they can take their black hands and build a great nation like their black hands help you build for your white self. You keep calling these puppets, toms, tools, and fools to talk to about the black-white problem in America. You were constantly looking for Frederick Douglass. I don't mean to disrespect Mr. Douglass, but Mr. Douglass wasn't the right black man to call. You were constantly calling Frederick Douglass. You should have been calling Henry Highland Garnet. Look that up.
Whoa.
Henry Highland Garnet and Frederick Douglass had a controversy between them like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had between them. Frederick Douglass was on the Martin Luther King road. Henry Highland Garnet was on the Malcolm X road. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir.
You didn't call Henry Highland Garnet. You didn't use Henry Highland Garnet as the leader that would represent the legitimate aspirations of black people in America. You, Frederick damn Douglass. You had an opportunity, white America, to use Elijah Muhammad as the legitimate aspirations of black people in America for freedom, for justice, and for equality, but you chose Martin Luther King Jr.
Go ahead.
You keep doing this. You had an opportunity to choose Marcus Mosiah Garvey and his UNIA as that which would represent the legitimate aspirations of black people for freedom, for justice, and for equality. But instead, you chose. What's my man's name, Mr. that set up Tuskegee?
Oh, that's
I'm having a brain fart. What's my man's name, Mr. Tuskegee? Look at the phone. I'm sure somebody's writing it. I'm sure somebody's sending it.
there you go.
Mr. Alabama Negro with his compromise, the Atlanta Compromise. Oh my God. Why in the hell can I not remember this man's name? Wait a minute. It don't smell like you put nothing in there. Going off with pause. Don't let the man give me his name. See, because every time there was some great man on this Martin Luther King soft sucker BS, there was somebody strong on the other side. And Booker T. Washington.
I see his face in my eyes.
I know his face now. I just couldn't think of his name.
Yes, sir.
You could have chosen Marcus Garvey, but you chose Booker T. Washington.
Go ahead. That's right.
Hello. I'm not saying they were necessarily right alongside of each other. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that when you chose a man's leadership, teaching, and guidance, there was always somebody, whether he was still living or dead, that represented the Martin Luther King side of the issue, and another man that represented the Malcolm X side of the issue, which is the Elijah Muhammad side of the issue. You always chose the weaker, the more watered down, the more non-threatening, the more loved white folks. And by the way, the man that I was talking about last week when I had my brain fart is Henry McNeil Turner. There's a picture of him at the State House. A black nationalist who took blacks back to Africa. Hello? And who talked about white folks like a dog. Who was on that Martin Luther King-ish until the white man slapped him back to reality. And then he became the Malcolm X of the late 1800s. Talk black to me? So President Lincoln called the wrong black people to the White House. President Lincoln could have called Henry Highland Garnett. Why not?
Come on.
Why did he call Henry Highland Garnett? I think Mr. Garnett was from Syracuse, but I'm not sure. Syracuse is a very important city in the history of black people in America. A lot of people don't know that. So those leaders decided they wanted our people to remain in America and try to be equal with the white man in America. Idiots. Probably men of great substance in their own way, but when it came to the white man, because they were so lacking in the knowledge of self.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When you don't have the knowledge of self, you might be a genius on every other level. But when it comes to the white man, you're a damn fool.
Go ahead.
That's what's going on in the Middle East right now.
Yes, sir. See.
You have great men and women of substance among the Arabs who are Palestinians. Great men and women of substance. Geniuses on every level. Except when it comes to the white man. Idiots. I love the Revolutionary Islamic Republic of Iran. In general.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
But there are many aspects of the Revolutionary Islamic Republic of Iran that disgust me. The Iranian people are a proud and very, very highly civilized and developed people. Don't believe the hype. Don't you ever look at the Iranian people like they're nothing compared to the white man of America and Europe.
Go ahead.
They beat the snot out of the white man and the white woman of America and Europe.
Go ahead.
These are the ancient Persians
Go ahead.
to a large degree. They got a lot less black blood in them now than they had when they were in ancient times. But these are still the descendants of the ancient Persians, a very great ancient civilization. These people ain't no joke. They have a long and a proud history of great contributions to the onward march of civilization. It goes back thousands of years. Are you listening to me? Geniuses on every other level, but when it comes to the white man, idiots. You have a hardline president, Raisi, and a hardline prime minister, Abdullahi, and some pump peckerwood loving. See, here I go again with that language. And some puppets, toms, tools, and fools in Azerbaijan. They go over there messing with them on the way back. The damn helicopter crashed, killing them and whoever the hell was with them. The idiots, where they were coming from, are to whatever degree hooked up with Turkey and are friends of Israel. Y'all ain't listening to me. And Masoud Pezeshkian is one of them. Talk black to me. And it ain't no damn coincidence that as one of them, he is a moderate Iranian with a moderate political stance. With respect, he's pro-West. Y'all ain't listening. He ends up winning the presidency because you got enough Iranian people who are punks and love the white man and want Iran to be more like the nations of the white man of Europe and America. Are y'all listening to me? Iranian women that don't want to wear a hijab. No problem. Pack your ish and move to damn London. Pack your ish and move to damn Barcelona or Berlin. Choose any European country and move your behind there. But you're an Iranian. You live in the revolutionary Islamic Republic of Iran. Hijab is what it is. You don't want it? Leave. Don't try to change Iran. The hell is wrong with you? When Iran was a puppet on the strings of Europe and America, what the hell was it like? The only reason you get the respect among the civilized nations of the earth today is because of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. He lifted you up. And now, many of you, so many, have become an enemy to the Islamic revolution that made your damn nation great. That you elected a pro-Western moderate Masoud Pezeshkian to the presidency of Iran. You stupid. Raisi and Abdullahim's death in that helicopter wasn't no damn accident.
Go ahead.
It ain't no damn coincidence.
Go ahead.
That those two hardliners, right at the time when Israel was getting her butt kicked by Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, Iraqi resistance, Ansarullah, ain't no damn accident. Israel catching it. Bop, 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 bop. Bobblehead Netanyahu, bobblehead Galan, bobblehead Herzog, bobblehead Halevi. The axis of resistance got all them crackers over there in Israel. Woo, rock'em sock'em robot looking Jews. And right at the time, they getting rocked and socked like robots.
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden, the head of the axis of resistance, Iran, loses its prime minister and its damn hardline president and gets a punk, Masoud Pezeshkian, as the damn president, and right away, he starts softening Iran's stance. Talk back to me. No damn accident. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Next thing you know, the axis of resistance starts suffering setback after setback, loss after loss, culminating in the fall of Bashir Assad's regime in Syria and the cutting off of the corridor of weapons being supplied to Hezbollah by Iran through Iraq, Syria, into Lebanon. Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
True Promise 1 happens. Pezeshkian wasn't with it. True Promise 2 happens after 13,457 years, 8 months, 3 weeks, 6 days, 22 hours, 17 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Go ahead.
He wasn't with that. Iran telegraphed the whole damn punch, giving the white man the ultimate chance of being able to limit the damage of it. True Promise 3, constantly being promised, but never fulfilled. Now they talking about they want to deal with America. They want to deal with the West. They want to sit down and deal with these devils. Hell no. You let these crackers kill Ismail Haniyeh right in your damn country. And then you waited forever to respond. Then they attacked your country outright. They bombed areas in your country. A direct attack on your country. And you ain't hit back yet. Damn fools. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, here's a Holy Quran that is clear. Never be the aggressor, but fight with those who fight with you. This Holy Quran says clearly that retaliation is prescribed in the manner of slaying.
Come on.
You are not only permitted, you are absolutely Islamically obligated to retaliate against any enemy that directly attacks you. But you let them bomb your place there in Iran. I forget the name. You got these funny Iranian names for places. I can't think of it right now. You let them drop bombs, make a direct attack against your country, and your damn True Promise 3 ain't came yet. You were obligated to respond with an attack against Israel. You said when you True Promise 2 to Israel, you know that two-piece, pop, pop. You said when you True Promise 2 to Israel, that if they even thought about coming against you, as soon as you saw their attack happening, you were going to retaliate in a measure that was going to be nothing compared, or that was going to make the previous attack nothing compared to what you were going to do in retaliation. They called your damn bluff, and you ain't bust a damn great sense. Talk black to me. Because when it comes to the white man, geniuses though you are, great substance, men and women of great substance though you are, you stupid as hell when it comes to the white man. But everybody is, except the followers of Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
We are the chosen of God. That's why everybody else, when it comes to the white man, stupid as hell, but we geniuses. When it comes to the white man, everybody on the planet Earth is jackass, and we, the nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad, not Farrakhan or anybody else, Elijah Muhammad, we're the geniuses. Everybody else is jackass. Hello? Why does Muhammad and any Muslim murder the devil? What is the duty of each Muslim in regards to 4 devils? And what reward does a Muslim receive by bringing and presenting the 4 devils at one time? Because he is 100% wicked and will not keep and obey the laws of Islam. This Holy Quran stresses laws of Islam. The laws of Islam, the modern laws of Islam, are those of this Quran. This Quran absolutely stresses the sanctity of agreements reached. There's a whole chapter. It's the chapter called the immunity, chapter 9 of the Holy Quran. Allah had to actually give a revelation to Prophet Muhammad, telling him that he and his followers did not have to keep the agreements that were made between him and those who kept breaking their agreements and attacking them.
Come on.
It stresses keeping your word, being true to any agreements. It stresses that. But the white man is not true to any agreement. He reaches with anybody, not even himself, but especially non-whites.
Go ahead.
The white man broke every treaty he ever made with the Indians. The white man broke treaties he never made with the Indians. The white man is like, yo, let's break this treaty right here. The Indians are like, what treaty? We don't even have. I don't care. We breaking it. He's a rebel without a pause.
Come on.
You cannot trust the white man. He will not keep and obey the laws of Islam, one of which is be true to your agreements. That's a law of Islam. So why do you seek to make agreements with white people? Muhammad will murder white people. Any Muslim will murder white people. The devil. Why? Because he's 100% wicked and will not keep nor obey the laws of Islam. His ways. Whose ways? The white man's ways. Study the white man's history. Like a snake of the grafted type, so Muhammad learned. This is something you Orthodox Muslims don't know. You don't accept what Master Farad Muhammad taught his messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, about Prophet Muhammad.
Come on. Go ahead.
He said that Prophet Muhammad learned that he could not reform the devils. So they had to be murdered. You got to kill these people. I'm not advocating any of us take up arms to kill the white man. That's not what I mean. What I mean is the final judgment of this present world ruled by the white man will be removed by the power of God through his right hand, Elijah Muhammad.
Go ahead.
Allah, God, Master Farad Muhammad, will remove the devils from the planet.
Go ahead.
Are you listening to me?
That's right. Go ahead.
He will use Elijah Muhammad to destroy America, but the rest of the world, that's his.
Come on.
Are you listening to me? Talk back to me. I didn't just make that up for those of you who believe the messenger to be dead. I said what I just said straight from the mouth of Elijah Muhammad.
Come on.
And if that's not going to happen, what I just said about him, then what he said is wrong. And you need to admit that you believe the messenger said something that ain't right. It don't make you no damn hypocrite. It makes you a stupocrit. And a stupocrit, as insulted as you may feel by me saying that about you, that ain't nothing. If you believe the messenger's dead, I don't give a damn whether you ever want to speak to me again, you a stupocrit. You're not a hypocrite, but goddamn it, nigga, you's a stupocrit. Talk black to me. However, damn it, being a stupocrit is not as bad as you may feel it is because of the way I said it. Everybody in the Nation of Islam is not an accomplished, well-developed theologian. And everybody doesn't have to be. We ain't all cut from the same cloth. Allah, this Quran says, has made some men to excel others. I excel every one of you niggas that believe the messenger's dead. I excel you. And some of you are humble enough to admit it. You ain't my equal when it comes to the theology of the Nation of Islam. I excel you. Talk black to me. Some of you didn't even join the Nation of Islam for the theology. I'm with the Nation of Islam not for the brotherhood, not for the unity, not for any of the things that some of you are in it for. I am specifically and uniquely in the Nation of Islam for the theology. And I excel the goddamn hell out of 99% of you when it comes to the theology. I'm a bad nigga. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. When you tell me Elijah Muhammad is dead, I don't give a damn about no nigga saying he was there in the hospital room. He closed the messenger's eyes. He closed the messenger's mouth. Another nigga talking about he wrapped the messenger's body. Another nigga talking about he clipped the messenger's toenails. Another nigga talking about he painted the messenger's toenails. Another nigga talking about he shined the messenger's shoes. Another nigga talking about, I don't care. None of that matters to me. I am a minister. Please understand. Get out your goddamn feelings. It ain't about that. And I'm not in mine. I don't care how emotional I seem. I'm not in my feelings. Stay the hell out yours. Reason with me. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm trying to let you get a clearer picture of my mind. I have a clear picture of yours. I don't need it to be any clearer. I perfectly understand where you're coming from and why you're coming from there, and it's cool. I ain't tripping on you. Don't trip on me. I want you to understand me because I understand you, and you don't understand me right now. You're trying to put Farrakhan on me. I don't believe what I believe because of a damn thing I learned under Farrakhan. Do you understand that? I don't believe Elijah Muhammad and Farad Muhammad are flying around on no damn spaceship. I don't believe that. I don't believe Elijah Muhammad died, but because it was within 24 hours, Master Farad Muhammad got the body and brought it back to life. None of that Farrakhan stuff do I believe in. I don't believe in none of it. Zero. My belief is 100% based on the words of Elijah Muhammad, both spoken and written. Are you listening to me? As a minister, a representative of the messenger, I carry the word of God that was given by God to his messenger. My position as minister of a temple is 100% theological. I am in this exactly for the reason some of you are not in it. So you got your way of looking at things, but I got that way of looking at things. I, as a minister, am not supposed to look at anything any way other than theological.
Go ahead.
My job is theology. So when you tell me, I was in the room, I saw his dead body. I tickled his toes and he didn't laugh. Nigga, I don't care. can go to tickle his toes. Hell, Mother Fletcher, I don't give a damn. That ain't theology.
Okay.
That's your eyewitness of something. I don't care. You want me to believe something, you gotta give me theology. Nothing but theology will change my mind, because nothing but theology shapes my mind.
Okay. Teach.
Give me theology or give me death.
Teach.
I'm Eric Jefferson. No, Eric Henry. I'm Patrick Eric. Give me theology or give me death.
Come on.
The Muslims are coming. The Muslims are coming.
Yes, sir.
Stop it already. These messengers, dead niggas, want to give you everything but theology to kill the messenger. If I was a lieutenant, cool. If I was a captain, cool. Squad leader, no problem. Private soldier, no problem. Secretary, no problem. But when you come to me and I'm a minister,
Go ahead.
you got to come with theology. Because theology is my specific, unique, and exclusive job.
Go ahead.
Are you listening to me?
Teach. Teach.
You don't have a theological argument to bring to me. And I don't expect you, if you're not a minister, if you're not cut from that cloth, if you do not equal or excel me with respect to theology, I do not expect you to accept my argument, and I don't even think it's necessary for us to argue. Let's just do the work.
Go ahead. That's right.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
Now, going back to what the hell I was saying, you can't deal with the white man. You got to kill the white man.
Come on.
So Muhammad learned he could not reform the devil, so they had to be murdered. All Muslims will murder the devil because they know he is a snake, and if he be allowed to live, he will sting someone else. Damn! If Iran knew that, it would bring about a turning point in modern history. If the new Christian president of Lebanon knew this, it would bring about a turning point in history. If those who are normalizing relationships with Israel, if they knew this, it would bring about a turning point in history. If the black man of America just by himself knew this, it would bring about a turning point in history. Talk black to me. But everybody thinks they can make some kind of agreement with the white man that will bring about peace between them and the white man. The white man has never even enjoyed peace among his own.
Come on.
Peace ain't the nature of white people. White people are devils who were given 6,000 years to live on this earth, rule the non-white peoples of this earth. The time ended in 1914. It's time for them to get X'd. And the only reason they haven't been X'd so far is because Allah desires to separate us from the white man so that he can destroy the white man and save us. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, Abraham Lincoln, like I said, was in favor of separation.
That's right.
Abraham Lincoln was introduced to the concept of separation by his political mentor, Henry Clay, a great white man of the 19th century, ran for president 3 times, was a senator. Henry Clay believed in separation. Abraham Lincoln was his protege. Henry Clay, Mr. President, worked together with what was called the American Colonization Society. There were chapters in several states, and they were very, very not influential, but they played a very, very important role in resettling thousands of black people from America back to Africa in Liberia. Talk black to me. I'm not some wild, crazy black guy with some wild, crazy idea here. There are great men of vision of white America who tried this. The reason that the capital of Liberia is called Monrovia is because President James Monroe was responsible very largely for Liberia. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So the idea of blacks being separated in a state or territory of their own, this ain't no new idea. Going all the way back to the 1700s. The earliest black nationalist that I know of is Paul Cuffey. It was in the 1700s. The richest black man in America at that time.
Go ahead.
And he was a black nationalist.
Go ahead.
Talk black to me. Then you come into he was the late 1700s. Then you come into the 1800s. You have Henry Clay. You have the American Colonization Society, culminating in the establishment of the colony of Liberia, later to become the nation of Liberia, a neo-colony, that is.
Go ahead.
Listen now. Then in the mid-1800s, you get Henry Highland Garnett and Martin R. Delaney. I mean, listen now. You come in the late 1800s, you get Henry McNeil Turner. Then you come from that to the early 1900s, you get Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Then you get in the mid-1900s, you got Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad. Talk right to me. You get into the late 1900s, you have a somewhat rehabilitated Louis Farrakhan, but you have a straight black and strong Khalid Muhammad.
Come on.
Talk black to me. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All throughout American history, you had these punk Negroes that wanted peace with the white man, and you had them bad niggas that wanted separation, nationalism,
Come on.
straight, black, and strong with the white man. And the damn white man always went to the least threatening blacks. Hello? I wanted to talk about Cop City. I wanted to mention that. But I'm afraid if I do that, I'm going to go too long. Listen, Mr. President. I'm sure he wouldn't listen because I've been talking too damn long. You have President James Monroe. You have the late, great Henry Clay. You have the greatest president in American history up until now, and you have a chance to exceed him. President Abraham Lincoln. Solving the problem of the Middle East is nothing in comparison with solving the problem of the former slaves of America and their former masters, you in America.
That's right.
Any man who can solve that problem gets a prize bigger and more significant than any other man.
Come on.
Talk black to me.
Please.
Genocide Joe Biden said he supported a two-state solution to the problem between the Palestinians and the Israelis. But what about a two-state solution to the problem that exists between the black man of America and you, the white man of America? You telling me Palestinians deserve statehood, but Nicostinians don't? Have you lost your damn mind? We want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters, white folks, are obligated to provide such land, and that the area must be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we're able to produce and supply our own needs. The problem is you got ignorant white crackers in America and dumb ignorant niggas in America who see this as outlandish, that's fanciful, fairy tale, whatever, not realizing that it's a concept that was actually accepted and implemented with respect to the establishment of Liberia. Blacks were resettled there, and their needs were maintained and supplied for a number of years. With the object of them eventually maintaining, producing, and supplying their... This has already been done. So stop looking at it like it's something crazy. Right. It's already been done. How many blacks of Liberia do you think would rather be here in America with their hearts racing every time they see some police lights coming behind them? I don't give a damn how underdeveloped Liberia is in your eyes. Those in Liberia feel more safe, more confident, more whatever there than they would here. Talk black to me. Now, I know you got some puppets and toms that will leave there and come over here trying to, man, get out my face.
Right.
So what? There's exceptions to every general rule. Everybody in Liberia ain't trying to leave and come here. Since, not if, but since, we cannot get along with them in peace and equality. Are we, as black people, getting along with white people in peace, in equality? If so, what's up with Cop City then? God damn it, we ain't getting along with these crackers in Georgia in no damn peace and equality. Is Fonnie Willis getting along with Chris Carr in peace and equality? Talk back to me. Did Paul Howard get along with these white folks in Georgia in peace and equality? Did Cynthia McKinney? You got stammering Hank Johnson because Cynthia McKinney couldn't get along with you crackers in peace and equality. Talk back to me. You got Fonnie damn Willis because Paul Howard couldn't get along with you damn devils in peace and equality. Hello? got Andre Dickens. Precisely because Keisha Lance Bottoms couldn't get along with you damn devils in peace and equality.
Oh, go ahead.
Y'all ain't listening to me. And that's the same no matter what major city there is in America. We have not been able to get along with you damn devils in peace and equality. After giving you 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced. Imagine over a $20 bad check being thrown to the ground and having a big, heavy police officer put his knee on your neck, keep it there for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. You telling this bastard you can't breathe. Well, if you can talk, you can breathe. This is the white man's wisecracking answer. If you can talk, you can breathe. Dumb, ignorant bastard, if I'm telling you I can't breathe, I can't breathe. But see, white folks think that because they're white and you're black, you can breathe if they say you can.
Right.
Because they say you can. The fact that you're telling them you can't, like what you just making that up? That's some of the worst treatment that a human being has ever received.
Go ahead.
That's not even talking about the lynching and the burning. That's just choking a black man to death, suffocating him with your damn meat in broad daylight. This is the type of thing we suffer after 400 years of our contributions. After 400 years of giving you our sweat, 400 years giving you our blood, fighting in your wars, working your damn fields, doing your damn labor. After 400 years of this, and in return, getting George Floyded, Emmett Tilled, we still can't get along with you in peace and equality.
That's right.
You'll still form an Atlanta Police Foundation. And usurp the power of the mayor of the city and the city council and force your will on the people of the city of Atlanta to put this damn police training facility together. Cutting down the damn forest, increasing the flood problem of the people in that area. So that you can militarize the police with the help of the training that you receive from Israel.
Go ahead. Yeah.
With the training you receive from Israel to do to black people in Atlanta what they do to brown people in Gaza and the West Bank. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, you have an opportunity to take an example, the agreement you reached that you pressured Netanyahu to accept. Your relationship to the Palestinians in Gaza is the exact same as Abraham Lincoln's relationship was to the blacks in America. You don't give a damn about Arabs. You hate Muslims. You wanted to put a Muslim ban on. But it was you, Mr. President, the Muslim hating racist cracker, Mr. President. It was you that pressured Netanyahu into this ceasefire that has Arabs all over the Arab world jumping up and down and celebrating. You didn't have to like them. You didn't have to respect them. You didn't have to give the first damn about them. But you did what the lying devils who pretend like they about peace and equality and justice for the Arabs, you actually did what they just talk about. Talk black to me. And I'm telling you, you have an opportunity to have that same relationship with the niggas you hate in America. You can do what no other president has done. You can bring about a solution to the black-white race problem in America. You think, and you have put it out, that the Democrats stole your election and used blacks to do it. And now your lovers and supporters see blacks as this problem, as this scourge of America. And they're still fuming about Obama. You are still fuming about Obama. When you played that recording of Jeffrey Sachs, it was as much to besmirch the reputation of Barack Obama as it was to expose the deceit and treachery of Netanyahu. Mr. President, you feel that because of how you bent over backwards for Israel, you did for Israel what no other president did. You recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. You are not called for, you were responsible for the assassination of General Soleimani. You got out of the deal with Iran that had the sunset clause or whatever you want to call it, that was not a good deal, that was not sufficient to guarantee the security of Israel. You went out your damn way for this cracker. And when the Democrats stole the election, yeah, I said it, when the Democrats stole the damn election, gave it to genocide Joe Biden, Netanyahu, like the treacherous, backstabbing cracker he is, if he wasn't the first, he was among the first to congratulate Joe Biden for winning an election that was stolen and not won. And you ain't the type of white man that forgets when people cross you. So you ain't really feeling too great about Netanyahu. You an Israel man, make no mistake about it, but you ain't no Netanyahu lover. And you're certainly not a Barack Obama lover. So when a Jeffrey Sachs pulls down the pants and bends over and spreads the cheeks of a Barack Obama and a Netanyahu in one clip, to a nigger you hate and a cracker you hate, you was like, oh yeah. So you went on Truth Social and you reposted that. Talk black to me. I'm saying to you, Mr. President, to hell with feelings and all this old woke and politically correct mess. Ain't nobody interested in that got half a brain. Look what you did with respect to the ceasefire agreement that it appears you pressured Israel into accepting, and the real possibility of you ending up with a Nobel Peace Prize for it. Look at the deal that the Iranians are anxious to make with you that would cause you not to attack Iran on behalf of Israel, get along in peace with them, lift the sanctions from Iran so that the Iranian government can deliver the economic prosperity to the people that will stop the people from having doubts, best case scenario, and wanting to overturn the clerical government, worst case scenario, because the sanctions have them looking at their government and their revolution as having not delivered on the promises of prosperity. Are you listening to me? You have an opportunity to get another Nobel Peace Prize for solving that problem. You have an opportunity, Mr. President, to stop the Ukraine first policy of an America first nation. Ukraine and Israel first. President Biden made America a Ukraine and Israel first nation. And they have brought this country to the brink of utter and complete disaster. Talk back to me. Every time you bring a budget before the House, you only agree to a budget every single time at the threat of a government shutdown. Talk back to me. You are soon going to have to deal with raising the debt limit again. And there'll be a last minute deal maybe to avoid a government shutdown, because you're going to have to come up with budget policies or budget decisions that's going to require raising the debt limit. Talk back to me. America's in deep trouble. That's right. Deep, deep, deep trouble. That's right. And what you don't need is what is most likely to happen this year. When you take the presidency, Mr. President, it is extremely likely in this year some stupid cracker is going to do something stupid to a damn nigga, and you're going to have the same problem in America that happened under your first presidency. It is time to solve this problem once and for all. And tough decisions are going to have to be made. Who in the hell are you, Mr. President? No disrespect intended, but goddamn it, who the hell do you think you are to pressure Netanyahu to make the tough decision to bring about peace, or at least the masquerade of peace? At the very least, a fire cease between Israelis and Palestinians, and you refuse to make the tough decisions in America, for America, to bring about a settlement to the black-white problem in America. Don't be no damn hypocrite. How dare you ask Netanyahu to do what you wouldn't be willing to do? You got some tough decisions to make about niggas in America. Just like he has some tough decisions to make about Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. And if you believe you're right to put that kind of pressure on him, I'm telling you, niggas got a God. His name is Farad, and he's putting pressure on you to make some tough decisions about us.
That's right.
Talk black to me. We're at a critical time in history. And I'm saying to you, as I bring this, once again, too long lecture to a close, you have an opportunity to win a fourth Nobel Peace prize that is so great, it dwarfs all other winners of the prize. It's a prize so big that the name Nobel doesn't do it any justice at all. It deserves a whole nother name that no other president has ever had given to any other prize any other president has ever done. A domestic policy victory and foreign policy victory greater than the domestic and foreign policy victories of any president in history. You have an opportunity to achieve this, to be the first president to achieve greatness on the level of Abraham Lincoln. I'm saying, Mr. President, don't miss this opportunity. It's going to happen whether you want it to happen or not. You be the one to solve the black-white problem in America. An open letter to President-elect Donald Trump. There's more I need to say, but I'm going to stop saying it today. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
All praise is due to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.